Hey, what's up? My name's JM Chaley and welcome to my channel. This week, okay, no, stick with me on this one, all right? This week, I'm gonna be answering some questions about my authorship. It's a tag, it's an author tag, and I don't usually do these ones, but I don't usually do tags. But this one, the questions were just so good, and I was laughing at the questions and I want to dish. I want to dish with all of you on these things, and definitely stick around to the end because some of these questions are just real. And I'm if you're an author yourself, or if you're a writer, if you're writing, I want to know. I want to hear from you. I want to know how relatable this stuff is for you because, oh my goodness. And this is called the Authors Are Weird tag. And yes, right? I mean, I feel like we're all going to relate to this, whether you're just starting off in writing or you've published already, if you have one book out or 20 books out. I feel like we're all in this together. We can definitely relate to these. So I'm going to read from my script because I don't have all of these questions memorized. And I want to, read the questions verbatim if I'm able to. This tag was created, and I'm sorry because I'm going to say her name wrong. And I'm sorry about that. So you can tell I already had to edit it, right? So let me see her name correctly now. Heather Slater Purves, author's YouTube page. She's the originator of this tag, and I want to give her credit for it. She's at Heather Slater Purves author, and it's in the description if you want to check out her YouTube channel. So let's get right into the questions. All right, question one. Do you have bizarre internet searches? And if so, what's the weirdest one? I mean, yeah, we look up all different kinds of stuff, right? I don't write mystery or horror, so you never see me do internet searches on stuff like how to hide a body and all this crazy stuff that authors often joke about. I've never had to do that. I'd say I don't know about the weirdest or craziest one, but the funniest one was definitely when I was writing The Vampires of 1863, which is a period piece that takes place in the 19th century in Boston. And one of the things I wanted to learn and kind of get more information on was really around women's clothing, because in particular I didn't know how women sat down if they had a bustle. Like, how does that work? Do they have to just stand all the time? I mean, some women back then had the big hoops, the crinoline or whatever. It was like a cage made of wire. How does that work? I don't know. But in particular, a bustle, I wasn't sure. And so I'm doing this research, and I come across this video of a historical reenactor she's describing all the different layers that go into a woman's getup in the mid 1860s. And she's got a video where she's putting on petticoats and stuff like that, and a corded stay, and her camisole and all this kind of stuff. It's YouTube. It's very PG, but it's still, ladies' undergarments of the 19th century. So I'm watching this video when my wife walks in, and she was just like, whatever. But I had to explain, no, this isn't what it looks like. But yeah, that was my weirdest, my most bizarre internet search. Pretty tame probably compared to what some of us do, I think. Let me know in the comments what your most bizarre internet search was. I'd love to know. Question 2. Do you write people you know and dislike into your story as villains or dumb people that you kill off? Yes, I do. I have. If you've read The Unlife of Lisa Cooper, no spoilers, Kenneth is based off of an old boss I used to have who was a blowhard and was often wrong about things. So he'd make a big stink and pound his fist and scream about stuff, and he'd be wrong. and you'd have to just kind of do what he said, even though you knew he was wrong. It was a bad situation. It's the reason I left the company, and now an homage to him is built into the character of Kenneth Megalus in The Unlife of Lisa Cooper. Question 3. Does personal hygiene come second to your writing? No. I don't see. How long are your showers if you're not able to write? If you're taking, no. Why not both? I feel like you could have both. There's no reason for that. Question 4. Do you go on baby name websites to help you come up with character names? Yeah, I think a lot of us do, don't we? In particular, I will go on baby name websites for specific ethnicities or nationalities, right? If I'm looking for an Italian name or an Irish name or something like that, that's typically when I will go on a baby name website. Writing the sequel to The Unlife of Lisa Cooper, there's a lot of Irish in it. She's going to go to Ireland. She meets people that are in Ireland. And I wanted to find out more names outside of like Patrick or Sean, right? So I wanted to come up with other Irish names that I could use. So whoop, up to the baby name website I went. Do you have a list of actors or actresses that would play your characters if there was an adaptation made? Do we all fantasize about this? Do we all think like, oh, wouldn't it be great if yeah, I'm guilty of that, I think. And, I really don't have a good list of everyone. Like Neil, I'm not sure who would play Neil. It would have to be some 20-something-year-old dude. I feel like if it was a movie that came out in the 2000s, like the early 2000s, it'd probably be like someone like Luke Wilson. But I'm not sure Luke Wilson could pull off. Well, I mean, he's pretty young looking for maybe a Luke Wilson type of a guy. But I think the female lead, the one that would play Lisa, would be Millie Bobby Brown, for sure. Because she's British, and I'm wondering if she can do the Irish accent. I bet she can, because if she also did this, 1863, she'd need to do the Irish accent as well. So that could really work. Richard would probably be played by someone like Ryan Gosling, for sure. And Ivan, I'm not sure about Ivan. We need some kind of like Blake Carrington kind of Silver Fox kind of guy. Do you know who Blake Carrington is? Am I dating myself again? Some handsome devil with salt and pepper hair or like white hair. That would be your Ivan. But I'm not sure what actor that would be. I'm open to suggestions if you want to put them in the comments. Question 6. Have you ever stared at a stranger because they look like one of your characters? Not stare. I think that would be creepy. But I did see a woman that looked like one of my characters. Not Lisa, but from an earlier manuscript that I had. And she... spitting image. Like, I wasn't... It was weird. It was like... someone plucked this woman out of my brain. And it was in a train station, so it was this weird kind of like she's getting on this train on this side, this track, and I'm over here on this other track, and I see her kind of through the crowd, and I was like, oh my God. It was uncanny. And of course, you can't do anything about that. Like, hi, you look like a character, can I take your picture? Oh, no, right? So she gets on the train and I'm just dumbfounded, but it was surreal. It was really surreal. I've never had that experience before or since, but this woman looked spitting image like this one protagonist I had in a manuscript of mine. Crazy. Question 7. Do you ever talk to yourself to help work through scenes? And if so, where do you talk to yourself? Oh God, yeah. I hope I'm not the only one that does this. There's been several times when my wife's like, what? Who are you talking to? I'm like, myself, and she's like, are you writing your book? Yes, so we all do this, right? Like we have a scene in our head and we kind of picture it, right? And that's all of us, right? we're playing it back as in kind of a movie in our head, if you will, and then the dialogue comes, and I just can't help it, but I talk it through. I can't. I mean, I could do the dialogue in my head, sure, but I want to speak it. I want to say it with the inflection and all this kind of stuff, and play it out. And I'm wandering around my house like an idiot, babbling to myself. My family's used to it by now, but yes, I do that. Question 8. While writing, do you make the expressions your characters are making? Yeah, of course. If I say, Lisa grimaced, I'm going to grimace as I'm writing that line. I also do it when I'm reading too. I hope we all do this, because if I'm reading a book and someone makes a dour expression, I'll be like, like I make the same expression. I hope I'm not the only one. But I feel like the fact that it's on this tag, this question, means that I'm not the only one. So I feel so much better now. Let me know if you do it. Do you... Okay. All right, we're going to dish now, okay? This is... Question 9. Do you ever practice answering interview questions in case you make it big? Yes. Yes, I've done this. I don't know so much that I pretend like I'm on... This is, I don't know if this is less embarrassing or more embarrassing. It's not really that I imagine I'm on some talk show, like, the Today Show or something, or Oprah. I don't really picture that. What I imagine making it big and having these sort of like pseudo celebrity conversations, like with other people that are known. It's really about me interacting with other authors that I currently look up to, like my heroes right now, where I get to, I make, I quote unquote make it big, and now I go on a book tour with one of these people, or I collaborate on a project, and we're both on the same podcast, and this is getting more sad the more I am talking, but I hope I'm not the only one that does this. But it's not as straightforward of, well, yes, Oprah, I will tell you about vampires. No, I've never done that, but it's usually something like, me having some fanboy experience where I'm chumming around with a famous author who I adore, and we're chilling out talking about our books together. That would be the best. All right, question 10. This is the last question. Do you have a soundtrack and or playlist for your book or scenes from your book? Yes, I do. I think a lot of us do that. I know a lot of us do that. In fact, I have a playlist that's just called Lisa, and it's right now it's for my sequel that it's a work in progress right now. It's with betas as of this recording, and if I listen to the playlist, I have songs for various scenes, chapters, what have you, so I can kind of listen to it in order. I don't put it on shuffle typically. I listen to it in order as I go. If I just want to like get in that zone, or at the time when I was writing those chapters, that was the particular song that I was listening to. I can't be the only one that does this. Write specific songs for specific scenes. I know I'm not the only one that does that. And but for me, a lot of those songs are instrumental. There's no lyrics, because when I write, I don't want to hear words. I don't want talking in the background. I don't want a television that I can hear, because when I hear people speaking, it draws my attention. But if it's just music, then I can kind of focus on what I'm typing. So that's one exception. I know a lot of people will listen to stuff with lyrics, heavy metal and stuff like that, and that's great. It tends to be a little distracting for me. That said, some of the stuff in my playlist does have lyrics to it. because those songs are what they are, and they're the right song for that scene. So there you have it. So yeah, 10 questions. Authors are weird tag. This was a really fun tag. I love these questions. I feel like they're relatable for all of us. If you've ever written anything, however much you've written, I feel like these questions can resonate with you. I want to hear from you. Please put in the comments some of your own thoughts. And if you want to do this tag, I know some people, when you tag people, you're like, I'm going to tag so-and-so and so-and-so to do this tag. Look, if you want to do the tag, do the tag. It's a fun tag. Do it. If you have your own YouTube channel, TikTok, whatever thing you're doing, have fun. So if you like this video, if you had some laughs, if you enjoyed yourself, I know this cracked me up, smush that like button. And as always, please subscribe. I try to post on Thursdays as often as I can. You can follow me on a plethora of social media outlets. Facebook, Blue Sky, and Threads are probably the ones where I'm most active. And you can follow me, you can come check me out on jmchaley.com. There's a little section there where you can send me a message, say hello. And please check out my works if you haven't already. The Vampires of 1863 and the Unlife of Lisa Cooper. I have a sequel coming out for Unlife this summer. I'm very excited about that. It's a great time to dive in and sink your teeth into some vampire action. All right, that about wraps it up. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.